Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamie, aka Rick here, bringing you part 33 of my GTA4 Let's Play. So, going quite steady now, so I really enjoy playing it. Apart from the fact that I had to replay quite a bit of it, because when I updated it decided to delete my save, so that wasn't ideal obviously, but since then I really enjoy the missions I'm doing at the moment, so it's looking good. I'm quite a long way through it now, I think, probably about 40-50% maybe, something like that, so I'm doing well. Got quite a lot of videos to come still though to finish this game up, so yeah, it's not going to be ending anytime soon by the looks of it. Probably be another quite a few months yet, so which it's good. It's proven to be a good series I think so far, for me anyway. I've really enjoyed playing it, really enjoyed doing the videos and the commentaries, so yeah, here's to more GTA videos really. Right, so in this episode, as you see, I'm with Derek, and we're going to do a boat escort mission. So I think they're trying to get into the country basically, so like immigrants, and we've got to fight off enemy or people trying to take the boat down basically, because they don't want them in the country, etc. So I have to shoot quite a few other boats that are trying to stop this from happening, and a helicopter as well eventually, which I get given an RPG to take down, which is the first time I've actually used the RPG in GTA4, which is good. It's good to finally get to use it, and its huge destructive power that it has. So it's quite good fun. You'll see that in a couple of minutes. It's not too far ahead of this, but yeah, then after that go and see Derek again, because I enjoy doing these missions, and close by, because he's the only one on, I think it's Algonquin Island at the moment that I've got missions for, so I keep going back to him. But yeah, this next one, he wants me to take out another of his old acquaintances who ratted him out basically to the cops, saying like what he's been doing and stuff like that. So obviously he's not too happy about that. So he asked me to kill him, obviously, which is what I do, but I get a phone call from Patrick saying that if we just kill him like while he's being escorted, then they'll go to Derek, because obviously it's someone he used to work with and just ratted him out and everything, so they're going to look towards him to think, oh yeah, he's probably done it, because he's got a motive too. So we basically make it look like a jail bust. So we take out the police escorts, me and Patrick, and then take the truck that he's in, take him to a remote place and then kill him. So it looks like a jail bust, but it actually wasn't, so which is quite clever, Patrick, to do that. So yeah, obviously Derek's happy that we've done that. So, and then I go and see another McCreary, Gerald. So it's my first mission for him. He's just testing me out, see how I do basically, and he wants me to plant a bomb on a car for him. Which, it's a bit of a weird thing I thought at the start, but it's basically a rival family, and they've got like this group of Albanians that work for him, and basically he doesn't like that, so he's trying to set them up to make the Albanians, this family think the Albanians are messing with them, and screwing them over. So I plant the bomb under there while they're in the meeting with the Albanians, and then I have to follow them back to their house, which is actually going to be in the next video. So it does take quite a while, so I might cut some of it out, because it's just me driving like a little way behind another car for quite a while, so obviously it could get boring, so I might cut some of that out. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens in this video. And just a little update, I'm going to be bringing some Nation Red gameplay. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a dual stick zombie shooter basically. It's endless waves. You can have endless waves of zombies and you just gun them down. You get new guns, you get new power-ups, that kind of thing. Or you can do a little story. It's not really a story as such, it's just different rounds, different environments. It's kind of a set amount of zombies, not infinite or whatever. So it's a good game. I definitely enjoy playing it, so I thought, why not make some videos of it. So yeah, look out for that tomorrow. It's it should be good. Anyway, the topic that I've chose for today is betas or betas, however you pronounce it. It's basically a version of a game that's not actually been released yet, that's kind of given out to either a selected group of people or a wide range of people, just for testing basically, or to give a first impression of what the game's going to be like. So they're used for a lot of reasons, some good, some bad obviously. which some obviously they're just commercial use, which is I think the worst type of use for it, which is basically just to bring hype about their game, to the community, to everyone else, and just literally just for hype and advertising. That's all they use them for, really, which I think is really bad, because they don't intend to change anything if bad things are found or anything like that. They're literally used just to promote the game. And they're normally done after it's been tested, once it's completely finished, which is not really what I think they should be used for. Which, this has basically cropped up because I'm playing Uncharted 3 beta at the moment, which I've only played a couple of games, obviously, because I only found out about it today. So just downloaded it today and cracked out a couple of games just quickly before I had to start doing some jobs, around the house and stuff. Since I'm off work today, it's my only day off this week, but so I thought, why not? I'll have a few games of it, see what it's like. So I've got mixed opinions about it at the moment, because it's not fantastic. I mean, it's not a dedicated first-person shooter. That's not what it's designed to be. It's basically, the multiplayer is actually a bolt-on in this case, whereas normally, nowadays with first-person shooters, the multiplayer is, the bulk of the game. That's in first-person shooters anyway. Not all games, but that's what it is kind of aimed for. So, whereas Uncharted 3 is not like that. So I didn't expect it to be amazing. Obviously, I didn't expect it to be a Call of Duty or anything, or a Halo or anything like that. But I have to say, I was pleased in some aspects of it. I mean, as you know, if you played Uncharted, you kind of got the free running aspect where you can climb up stuff as you're exploring, like all these different things, like trying to find artifacts and stuff, because that's kind of what it's like. Indiana Jones, basically. It's kind of the setting of it, but there's a few more guns involved, But yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. But so you've got that you got the climbing aspects and all that. So I mean, that added into a multiplayer is quite impressive. Like Brink, it's kind of like that, not quite as extreme as that, but it's kind of similar. So I like that aspect of it. And although the running and jumping does feel a little bit clunky at the moment, personally, I think anyway, it's not really that smooth. I think it's a bit dodgy at times. But yeah, other than that, if they could smooth it out a bit, I think it would be awesome. Power weapons, obviously, I'm a huge fan of power weapons, being predominantly a Halo player, first person shooter wise. I love power weapons. They give you more something to think about. I mean, give you something to control. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Although one of the main gripes with it I've got at the moment is the bullet spongy enemies. Like, you're in multiplayer and it takes so many bullets to kill an enemy at the moment, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, if the guns are accurate, which they're not in this case, they recoil a hell of a lot, and the bloom is insane. Like, as soon as you fire the bloom on most of the guns, just shoots out and the gun kicks off some direction, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, if you burst fire, it's kind of okay, but even if you burst fire, it takes about 6 or 7 shots, I think, to actually kill someone, which is a hell of a lot, especially in a first person shooter. If you want to make it fast paced, a lot of action, then you kind of need to speed that up a little bit, I think. Make it actually so it's a lot faster paced and more interesting when you're actually playing it, because at the moment it is a bit slow for me, because there's a lot of running away, a lot of hiding. But I'm sure, hopefully they'll change it if they're using it for its right reason. Which kind of brings me on to the way I think beta should be done. Is they should be given out first, like, to a lot of different audiences. That's the main thing, because you won't have just one type of people playing your game. No matter what game it is, there will be different types of people playing your game. No matter, say it's a MMO like WoW, you'll have the people that play it every day on a specific schedule to do a certain thing, or you have the people that log on when they can, when they like, when they feel like it, and just do whatever. You have the people that log on when they can and do a specific thing, or you have people that literally just play it just for whatever they want to do. Some days they come on at this time and do that, sometimes they come on at a different time and do something else. You can never really pinpoint one audience for any game. as a first-person shooter, you've got competitive and non-competitive, and then somewhere in between, there's always players drifting in between, maybe thinking about going competitive, thinking about just going on for fun. There's a lot of different people play games, so you can't, as I said, pinpoint a specific type of people that play a game. So I think first of all they need to release it to all of their different audiences in some aspects, so they can get a feel of how each community or each player feels about the game. So like, say a Call of Duty game, you want to obviously have quite a public beta for most people, but you want to make sure that you get some professional gamers or some competitive gamers in there as well, just to see what they think of it, because obviously they're used to playing a hell of a lot of that game. If they play that game for like a profession or whatever, or to earn money, then they're going to be good at it. So you kind of want people like that to test it, as well as people that just go on it for fun, and or just people that go on it, say, after work, and just play a couple of games. So I think the market for the beta is really important. You don't want to have it just one group of people have it. You want to make sure you get it out to as many people as possible. So I think that would be the first thing, where the first basically important thing is who you get it out to. Another thing is then those people that get it out, that you give it to, you've got to try and get them to give feedback, because obviously if you give it out to them and they just play it and then leave it, they don't say anything, they don't say what could be improved, they don't think about it to themselves, what could happen, like what do you think they could improve, what could be changed, then it's not going to be helpful. You're not going to get much from doing the beta, and that's kind of defeats the object of it in the first place. If the more people you obviously give it to, the more people the more chance you get of getting good feedback. I think also if you give it to a big YouTuber these days, I mean, as you saw, like Total Biscuit and the Yogscast done with the World of Warcraft Cataclysm beta, they covered pretty much everything, and they got a huge amount of views, and it was crazy the amount of stuff that those two channels, there was loads of others, but those are the two that I can really relate to, because I watched pretty much every one of the videos. So something like that, it gets a lot of advertisement then, so it's going to be, and obviously Total Biscuit put out a video saying if you're in the beta, give feedback, because that's what it's for, because he agrees with pretty much the same thing I do, is if a beta's done, it needs to be done to improve the game, not to just promote it, really. I mean, they will do that as well, even if it's just improving it, but it will, it's got to be done to develop the game a bit more. So yeah, those videos, definitely give it to a YouTuber or a couple, I mean, the Gears 3 beta as well, that was covered a lot on Machinima Respawn, as I'm sure Uncharted 3 will be over the next few weeks, as long as it runs. So yeah, I think that's, your audience is obviously key. Feedback is another key thing. With WoW, there was an in-game help where people could give feedback. Say you done a certain quest, when you completed it, a thing popped up saying give feedback, stuff like that was extremely helpful, because it pinpointed exactly what people give feedback on. It, like, whenever something happened, there was a box that came up, say you did a dungeon or a boss, a box came up, what was right, what was wrong, what you thought they could improve, all this stuff, which is fantastic, I think. I mean, it's one of the best betas that there was, the Cataclysm one, I have to say. From my opinion of what a beta should be and my experience of playing betas, I think that was the best run one that I've ever seen. I didn't get to go in it, which was a bit of a shame, but I'm sure it would have been good. So yeah, feedback definitely helpful. If it's not an MMO, if say it's an FPS and you can't have the pop-ups, provide a website or a forum where things like, say you have loads of different sections. Say it's a first-person shooter, you got maps section, you got a weapon section, you got a perks section, you got grenades, all that different stuff. Say it's Black Ops, it would have been COD points, something like that. You got to have specific areas where people can comment and say what they think. It's no good having just one huge forum or one like just one form where people fill it in. It's got to be more specific so you actually know and you can kind of go through it easier. So if you've got one big page of loads of different suggestions about different things, it's not going to be that helpful. But if you've got, say, a page on a certain thing, then obviously it's going to be more helpful for you. So, and I don't know if you saw then, that guy still had health when I shot him in the head. Bit weird. But yeah, anyway. Development as well, I'd say. Development and testing, basically. If a lot of people are saying the same thing, so it comes back to feedback. If feedback's given about the same thing over and over again, then that's kind of a hint that it needs changing. And obviously, if you're using the beta properly, you'll look at things, you'll look at feedback, and you'll make changes. You'll adjust the game to how your community wants it, really. At the end of the day, because obviously you're making a game for your community, for your people that are going to buy the game. So you want to kind of listen to them and improve it, so they're more likely to buy it on release. So I think, development is key, and I think it needs to be implemented during the beta as well. Say on the first week of the beta, there's a thing that's bugging everyone, like everyone's going crazy about this certain thing. You've got to get that changed and implemented into the beta, otherwise people won't play it, obviously. Say in COD, there's a certain gun that does ridiculous amount of damage, and everyone's using it and abusing it, and no one will want to play it anymore, I don't think, because obviously it'll be boring. It'll be one gun, they'll be like, alright, when it comes out, use this gun and I'll win. So I think if something like that, it needs to be changed and updated. I think the WoW Up one was updated every couple of days, at least once a week, I'm pretty sure, with something they changed or something else they'd put in. Because that's another thing, you don't want to put it all in at once. You don't want to give them everything that you've got. You don't want to put it all on the table at once, because it gives people too much to think about, and they might miss stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not game testers, but you give enough people a thing to do, and someone will find a problem with it. So I think if you limit what's available at the time, then it would go well. I mean, say with a COD one, you limited the maps, you limited the guns, the perks, because then it forced people to use those guns and perks and be on those maps, and they'd find problems with them. They'd find balance issues maybe. And then as you put more in, people would think, right, so there's a new gun added, I'm going to try it out. New perks added, I'm going to try them out. And eventually, as it all came together, all the guns were out, all the perks were there, you had everything available. By that time, there would be some people that had played it from the start and would have an experience of everything. So that, by the end of it, you'd have a lot of people who knew what they were doing in the game, they experienced all the content, and would be able to give really constructive feedback on what they thought at the end product, or near the end of the beta. I think by the end of the World of Warcraft one, pretty much everything was ready to go, and the content was good. They'd fixed a hell of a lot of bugs, made a lot of improvements, tweaked quite a lot of new spells or new talents, new talent trees. There's been so many changes, and the changes are still happening now. I mean, in 4.2's just gone today, so for WoW, it's just released. So, I mean, they're constantly changing it, but they listened to their community, listened to the feedback they got, and just kept improving it every week. I mean, if you do that, if you filter the content slightly, just little bit lower, little bit, get them to test it, your people that you've got it, make sure you've got a wide audience, and it should go well for you. I mean, I think Blizzard's beta for Cataclysm, I know I keep mentioning it, but people should look at that and think, that's how we're going to do ours. I mean, I'm sure Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will have a beta, but it won't be constructive like that, I can guarantee you. If it has one, it'll be the complete game, and they may make one or two changes if something really bad comes up. But if nothing, game breaking comes up, they won't actually care. I mean, they won't change a thing, because that's what, I think just going to be for advertising purposes solidly, but Blizzard actually kind of care, I'd say, about their players a bit more than Activision, well, not Activision, but Infinity Ward do. I mean, Activision, obviously, everyone knows that they're just after money, but at the end of the day, they're in charge of Blizzard, or not in charge of Blizzard, but kind of the same company as Blizzard. So if they didn't get them, if they let them do it properly, why don't they let Infinity Ward? I think Infinity Ward don't want to do it. They just literally want the money from it. So yeah, I think if a beta's done right and feedback's given and it's changed and updated all the time, then they can be really helpful. But if not, they're kind of pointless, I think. So that's my just my view on betas. I mean,